What is going on, everybody? I am Japes, and today I'm joined by my parents' new puppy. This is Rascal. She is a miniature Australian Shepherd, but we're hanging out doing a little Q&A up in Wisconsin. It is cold outside. There have been snow flurries, that sort of thing. Not quite what I'm used to in Georgia, but it is still a nice little place. I'm in my mom's office, so plenty of girly stuff going on around me, but that's okay. It's a nice little spot to do a Q&A. I've just asked on Twitter if you guys had any questions for me. So as they roll in and this puppy rolls off and away from me, she's kind of hanging out. She's a busy little girl, though. I think she's only a few weeks old. Let's see. The first question's from Ben12114. He said, "Do you get paid in your soccer league, or is it just recreational?" I do not get paid in the league that I play in. I play in an amateur league, and at the top level or in the top divisions of the league, some of the players have been scouted to go to the MLS teams. But more or less, it's just a recreational league that's for fun, to keep me in good shape, still keep me, I don't know, getting some touches on the football, things of that nature. Ellis Osborne says, "What would you do without an Xbox?" I'm sure I'd find other ways to be productive. I don't know, maybe I'm without an Xbox this week, so we're still editing videos, still making videos, still playing computer games every so often, League of Legends and all that stuff. I don't know, it takes up a little bit of time these days. But I'll probably make videos on that. And I've mentioned a second channel before. It's youtube.com/airjapes. So it's real simple. But we're going to keep that going, and that'll be other things like that called. What is your team called? It's called Bafana. First football game you ever went to? I think it was for the Atlanta Silverbacks, and the Silverbacks were originally, like, the USL is the United Soccer League, I think is what it stands for, or US Soccer League, and it was the precursor to the MLS, so now it's a division under the MLS, but that was the first one that I went to. Who's the better goal scorer, Torres or a Potato? Hands down, that's going to have to be Torres, because unless it's a Mr. Potato Head. You want down? You can go down. All right, unless it's a Mr. Potato Head, and that would be, he's got legs and feet and things of that nature. Who's your favorite Everton player? Currently, it's probably Fellaini. Of all time, probably Landon Donovan when he was there. That would be cool. What were your grades in high school? In high school, my average GPA through all of it, like when I applied to colleges and things of that nature, was at 3.8. So I was a pretty good student for the most part. That's on a 4.0 scale, so that's roughly I think it's like a B+ average or something like that. If you were to live in the UK, which city would you live in and why? P.S. Would you recommend Hazard on Ultimate Team? That's from Josh Lunt 95. I would probably live in London, and that's because that's the only place that I've been to in the UK, but I did like it. And it's the big city, and I think that'd probably be the most fun place to live. Football everywhere, loads of opportunities, lots of smart girls. At least I'd hope so. Didn't see tons of them when I was over there, but nonetheless, I'm sure they're out and about. Ryan Tarling says, "Are you having a good time in Wisconsin?" Yeah, it's always fun to see your family and hang out. And I live with my brother, which some of you guys may or may not know, in Atlanta. We have a house, and if you guys actually want to see that house, it was when I hit 50,000 subscribers. I did a little house tour, so you guys could check that out as well. But yeah, it's good seeing my parents. I hadn't seen my mom in months, but I see my dad every so often. I'm sure you guys hear me talk about it. I'm the Air Japes taxi service when he comes to Atlanta to do business, so I do see him quite a bit. Why are you such a big fan of Bayern? Is your dad German or something? And that's from Sammy AFC. And the answer to that is not exactly. My dad is Austrian, and he grew up for quite a bit of time in Vienna, but he eventually moved to Paris for a little, but he also spent a lot of time in Munich, and that is where he developed some very, very good friends. And so growing up, we still visited those friends and went to Munich and things of that nature, and so that's where it all started to develop. Favorite English football team? That's from Dan W. Bell, and I don't necessarily think I have one favorite team in particular. I love watching the BPL, and I don't know, it varies, I suppose, from season to season based on the way teams are playing, but I can't pick one that's my absolute favorite. Alright, thoughts on the FIFA community? I really like the FIFA community. I don't know too much about some of the other communities. The Call of Duty community is pretty brutal, and I think actually the FIFA community is getting a little bit more and more brutal. It's basically there's a lot more content out there these days, and so the quality of content has to keep on going up. And when that happens, people become more judgmental, and it's not encouraging. And you can look at it as simple as feedback that people get on their videos. When I first started doing FIFA videos, the feedback might be, "Oh, that was real enjoyable. You might try doing something like this next time." Nowadays, it's just like, "You suck, you American douchebag," or something like that. It's like, what? that's really helping me to become a better FIFA director or a better YouTuber in general. So that's kind of the way I've seen it changed. Balraj Dingra says, how many goals have you scored for your club? I have scored 1 goal in 4 games this season, maybe 5 games. But that's because I played center back for, I think, 4 of the games, center mid for 1 of the games, and I scored when I was playing center mid. So I'll probably continue playing there moving on forward. I've got a bunch of assists, though. I tend to take all of our set pieces that are plus 30 yards out. So, I knock it into the box and good things happen. At least that's what we try to do with that. So we're going to keep on going up. We got 98 more interactions. Oh my gosh, I'll never be able to answer all these. But Lousy ITFC says, I believe that's, what is that, Ipswich Town Football Club? How many countries have you visited? I have been to, England, Germany, France, Italy, Austria, and then some Central American cities, or Central American countries, Mexico, Canada. So I actually don't know, but probably I'd say somewhere around 10 maybe. I think that's a fair guess. What made you want to be a YouTuber? And that is from the Rugby number 9. And that's kind of a weird question. It's not something that I set out and said, you know what, I want to be a YouTuber. This is what I want to do. I started because I wanted to see how a world audience might take to an American guy talking about soccer or talking about football. And I thought FIFA was a decent segue into it. I loved playing FIFA, so I thought, hey, this is a hobby of mine anyway. And as far as on the topic of FIFA, I only started playing FIFA real heavily when I stopped playing college football or college soccer here in the States. And so I thought, hey, this might be a decent segue. I love talking about FIFA. I play it for, a couple hours a day probably at that point because I didn't have practice anymore. So I all of a sudden had 2, to 3 or even 4 free hours and spent a little bit of time doing that, which we've all definitely been there. But that is, I suppose that's kind of where I started. But then YouTube was, great fun, and it's been a wild ride, man. I think I've been doing it for probably, we're closing in on 1.5 years or something along those lines. So it's been crazy, but I got to thank you guys for your incredible support, and just hope to continue with it for at least for a little while. It is quite fun, and it is very enjoyable. I guess those are the same things. When are you coming to see FC Bayern Munich next? That's from Kieran Karki, and the answer is not soon enough. I actually don't have a trip planned, and but if you know a company that wants to fly me over and do that, then I'd be all for it. I'd be all on board for that. But I don't know when the next time I'll be able to get over to Munich is. Hopefully it will be soon though, as I do love that city. Let's see, Jordan Kennedy says, McDonald's or Burger King? Also, can you do giveaways? It really depends. If I'm in the mood for a burger, probably Burger King, but I like McDonald's fries better, and probably their chicken McNuggets better. Every so often, my brother and I will have like a split, I feel like getting, puppy's scratching back there, but I feel like feeling terrible Sunday or something like that, and we'll get 20 packs of McNuggets and just go to town, and then afterwards you're kind of, oh, that was a horrible experience. But Burger King definitely for the burgers. And will I do giveaways? Giveaways have never been my style, and the main reason for that is because I didn't want people to come to my channel to watch my content, to listen to me talk about FIFA or talk about sports or whatever, because they wanted to win a prize or get something at the end of it. And so if I do a giveaway, I'll do it eventually, and it would be sporadic. So it wouldn't be something that I'd announce. It'd be something that I'd probably tuck in at the very end of a video and say, thank you guys for watching. If this is something you want to, hey, you hush. Yeah, that's kind of where, all right, hold on. All right, and we're back. Probably going to cut that part out, though. So, do I have a girlfriend? The answer to, let's see, giveaways. Tucking them in at the very end of the video, and, that would just be a thank you to you guys for watching anyways. Have I pre-ordered the new Time Flies EP? That's from Magic Smurf. The answer is no, not yet. I'm sure I'll get it when it comes out, as, those guys have put up so many free songs over, a couple years now, and, I'm more than happy to buy their EP. It's a way of showing my support and allowing them to continue doing what they're doing. And it's interesting to kind of think about it. There's so much free stuff on the internet these days, and YouTube's essentially a free thing for you guys to all watch. And so it's the guys that make music and put it up for free on the internet, they're making all their obviously they're making a good bit of money now from live concerts and stuff like that. But if I can help support them by buying an EP for a couple bucks or whatever it is, I am more than happy to do that. Who do you think will win the Champions League? And this is from Tandori or at Toutish. And he puts in parentheses, except Bayern Munich. And of course, the answer to that question is Bayern Munich. But if they were to not win the Champions League, man, that's a tough question. I don't know. I think a team like Juventus could be real interesting in the Champions League this year. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But yeah, that is those are my thoughts. Let's see, this is from Crazy Finboy. Does your relatives, friends know that you're doing YouTube? If so, what do they think about it? P.S. Love your vids. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate your support. And yeah, everybody knows that I do YouTube now. You kind of can't hide a trip from your friends and family that you're going to London, or something along those lines. And it's not something that I've ever been embarrassed about either. You know, it's something that you kind of tell people you do and they don't fully understand it. And I think it's because YouTube is kind of the cusp of a new industry. And some of you guys that might be younger than me are like, what do you mean? YouTube's been around forever, but it really, hasn't really picked up pace except for maybe in the past 5 years or so. And with that, there's new opportunities being created. And so it's fun and it's interesting and it's exciting as there's constantly progression and new innovations and stuff happening with it. So it's a wild roller coaster ride, and it's actually some people. It's funny, some people understand it and say, you know what, that's really cool and that's neat that you can do that. And other people are like, especially some of the Valley girls here are like, what? I don't get it. And it's just smart girls though. Smart girls. We do love them. We do love them. Would you ever consider doing a fully trading series? That's from FIFA Coins at FIFA Coins Inc. And the answer I suppose is yeah, I'd consider it. And I've actually thought about it. I get comments on my videos now that say, Japes, the only reason that you're able to trade cards is because people see your team name and they just buy your cards. And that's kind of it's kind of annoying and a little bit frustrating because, as many of you guys know, I started doing FIFA videos without a capture card. I started on the web app, and if you guys want to go see those old and just terrible videos, my mic was awful, and I was so nervous, and I repeated, oh man. But those are funny, but you can check those out still on my channel, and that was when I had just a couple hundred subs, so I'd be trading. I think the 10K Power Hour was kind of one of my first big videos, the first time I ever did one of those. And I spent 10K and at the end of the hour sold all the cards on and had 40K. And that was before anybody had, a conception of, I guess, YouTuber effects on the marketplace or, the team name, that sort of thing. And so I definitely know how to trade. And so, yeah, I think I could do a full trading series. All right, onward and upward we go. A few more we'll try to get through. Let's see. Oh, Robin Petri says, have you ever had Kaiserschmarrn or Kaiser Spätzle? Kaiserschmarrn, yes. Kaiser Spätzle, no. And it is delicious. So obviously you've got a little bit of a German heritage yourself. Please explain super canceling on corners. That's from Daniel Sego, or at Sego Genesis. And what super canceling is it's when you hit the left trigger and the right trigger at the same time. And now this kind of goes in with the defensive tutorial stuff that I'm working on. It's tough finding the right clips for that because I don't want to show stuff where I'm already up by a bunch of goals and the guy's really not a clever attacker, though. You want to get it where it's in tight games and you have to defend over and over and over and over again. But the super cancel is basically where, it's preconceived that the AI is not always going to put your player in the best spot to win the header. And so you can super cancel out of it by hitting the left trigger, right trigger, or L2, R2 on PS3. And it'll allow you to run your player around wherever you want him to, as long as you're still holding those down with the left stick. And so what I'll do is when the corner's coming in, if they have a defender that gets in front of my guy, and as you see that happening with the ball in the air, you super cancel and you swivel the stick to get around in front of the guy and hopefully nod the header home. It doesn't work all the time, but it works a lot more than it fails. So it's something to keep in mind. It's something to try out. Let's see. What takes longer, editing your videos or the gameplay? That's from Daniel Murray, and it really depends on the video. For a series like Deck Decider, the editing in that just takes so long with coming up with the team and then getting all the clips and getting all the pictures of the cards and all of that on there. That takes me a long time. I'm not a stellar editor, mind you. But for something like career mode, it's pretty easy to split down. And it's actually, I don't know, it still takes me quite a while. But probably getting the gameplay for some of that takes a little bit more time. All in all, though, it adds up really, really quickly. Liam, the HD FIFA World says, how long do you plan on doing YouTube for? And have you ever came close to quitting? And the answer to how long do I plan on doing it for? And the answer is I'd love to be able to just keep on doing. I don't really see an end in sight. As long as you guys are going to continue watching my videos, and as long as I enjoy, making videos, it's something that I'm definitely interested in doing, and I have fun with. And but as far as have I ever come close to quitting? Indirectly, maybe, and that was more when I started. I was working at this point last year for a company, more or less a startup company, and my boss put a very demanding amount of hours, and so I was working probably 16-hour days, 6 days a week, and that really hampered my ability to make videos because I'd come home and I was so tired. And I think there was a period about this time last year where I'd only end up uploading once, maybe every 2-3 weeks or something like that. And if then it was, hybridism or something like that. And I still actually need to do more hybridisms. They just take a really long time to get, because I used to only show highlights and not just goals and stuff. So getting good goals for all of those sometimes would take quite a bit of time. But that was, I guess, indirectly. Other than that, though, I love it, man. I love interacting with people and seeing what you guys have to say about my videos, getting feedback, interacting with other directors. All things considered, it is a wonderful thing to be able to do. Let's see. All right, I think we're gonna. Well, I answer one or two more. Am I gonna live stream today? That's from Ben Agunawo, and that the answer is no. I'm up in Wisconsin without an Xbox. I will be streaming quite frequently though next week. I get back in town on Sunday, and I kind of want to do a stream week. Where I would say at least 4 streams that week. So we'll have to see. Ideally I'd like to do the 24-hour stream come next Friday. So do it from like Friday at 9 a.m. to Saturday at 9 a.m. my time, which UK time would be 5 hours later, so starting somewhere at like 2 in the afternoon or something like that. But I have to see what's going on with the schedule with everybody at the house. Ideally I'd like my house to be kind of quiet for that, but if, one of the roommates is planning on having tons of people over, it kind of they butt heads a little bit, and so it makes it a bit more difficult. Let's see. Jordan Forbes says, I know you probably won't, but it's my birthday today, so will you give me a shout out? It would be much appreciated. It'd be appreciated. So there, I guess you got your own little shout out there. So happy birthday, Jordan. What's your star rating for skills in real life? And now this is always the bizarre rating, because you talk about star ratings in FIFA, and for me it's always the debate of should it be how often they use skills is what their star rating should be, or should it be based on if they're able to do the skill? And if it's the ability to do the skill, there should be loads of 5-star skillers. But I think it makes more sense to do it with how often they use skills. And so I use very few skills in real life. But I can't do a Berba spin. I can obviously chop. I can do an elastico, and McGeady spin's not fluid, but it can be done. So I think I'd still probably be somewhere in like the 2-star, maybe 3-star range, because I can do I definitely do a roulette. But that's where that has to be. Anyways, guys, I've been rambling for a while now. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in and supporting all of my videos. I'll have probably career mode and path power back up tomorrow. But other than that, that was the puppy. That was a little bit of what's going on with me. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time.